So you've started dropshipping and you're having trouble actually finding winners and scaling products and making money in your business. And this video is going to break down how to take your business to the next level and some of the things that I get asked on a regular basis that it shocks me to see that people don't have these set up. I'm going to go over the exact things that I see on a regular basis that holds people back from getting sales when they're first starting out, how you can make those changes and make sure that everything is working smoothly so that you can drive traffic through your checkout and convert those clicks into sales. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Now, obviously at the end of the day, and a lot of people, don't quite get this, but your product is the most important thing in your entire business. But you could be testing great products and you might be missing out on potential winners that you can scale if you're missing these few things. So I'm gonna go over some of those things today with you here to make sure that you've got those set up in your store and some of the critical setup factors in your Shopify account that you need to make sure are in place before you spend a dime on ads. So let's first start with markets. And this is where I see a lot of people not getting this part set up properly. So your markets is the section in your Shopify account that allows you to set up where you're going to be selling and which countries and locations are able to check out in your store. So the first and most important thing, no matter what anybody else is telling you, make sure that all countries, every single country is selected in your markets settings. Now we're going to be able to exclude some of the countries that might be problematic, maybe bring high risk orders in the future from our shipping settings, but we want to make sure that everything is set up in our markets so that anybody can check out on your Shopify store that are not excluded from your shipping settings. So let's go over next the important setting that you want to make sure is set up properly, which is your shipping settings. Now, if you haven't set these up and you haven't selected the countries that you're going to be able to ship to and you start driving traffic through your checkout, there's going to be a lot of people that want to buy your products but just physically cannot check out. And I've seen this so many times that a lot of people are missing these settings and spending money on literally driving people through their checkout that can't even convert. First and most importantly is I like to set up 3 shipping zones, right? So a shipping zone is just basically a cluster of countries and you can set the rates, you can set the settings based on those direct zones. So you want to have 3 zones. This is how I set things up. And in those 3 zones, you're going to have basically your domestic. So this would be whatever you're mainly shipping to. So say it's, Canada and the United States, right? You might have a domestic, then you'll have a rest of world, right? And let's put W there. So you have a rest of world section between these 2 zones. Make sure that you have every single country able to ship if you're adding all of the countries into these zones. Now, the next thing is that you want to have an expensive shipping zone, right? So there are going to be some expensive countries that you're going to be still able to ship to, provide these products to that market, but that if you're not charging shipping for, you might be missing out on some money or, losing some of the profits that you could get. So there are going to be some expensive shipping zones. And if you want access to the list of expensive countries to ship to, just comment countries down below and I'll send that list over to you so you can add these into your expensive shipping zones. Now, these are the expensive countries if you are shipping with Unexpress or Yanwen Express. So if you're shipping worldwide or you're shipping with a Chinese 3PL, you're going to want to add these into your expensive shipping zone so that you can charge them extra for shipping, because people are still going to pay extra for that shipping because they want your products, but you're not going to be missing out and you're going to be making extra profit on every single order that you get from those areas. So then the next thing is that you want to start to exclude and build up an exclusion list from the countries that you're not wanting to ship to. So there might be some low tier countries that you don't want to ship orders to, like Pakistan, parts of Africa, so on and so forth, that you're not able to ship to and that you want to exclude from being able to check out in your store because they might become problematic. Like, for example, Morocco, there's a lot of high risk orders, so you might want to exclude that from your worldwide shipping so that it's getting excluded from being able to order from your store. So this is where you can start to build up that exclusion list for your store and make sure that your settings are set up properly for your shipping and delivery. So you're gonna have your markets, you're gonna have your shipping settings set up, because again, guys, if these are not set up properly, you're going to have a lot of problems with your checkout and conversions. All right, so the next thing, this is the next biggest one that I get asked about, or that people don't have set up properly, is your actual payment settings, right? So the actual payments that you're allowing people to check out with. Now go ahead and select every single payment method that you possibly can. Some people say, exclude Shop Pay, Google Pay, sometimes Apple Pay for whatever reason, but you want to make sure that you are enabling all of these that are possible and giving your customer all of these payment methods as a possible payment route to be able to buy your products with, right? So payment methods, and this includes PayPal. If you can use PayPal, I know PayPal is an absolute pain in the ass, but if you can use PayPal, I highly suggest using them, as I have personally found across hundreds of thousands of dollars in spend that PayPal helps increase conversions. Now, if you don't and you can't use PayPal, it's totally fine, because what's going to happen is the algorithm is going to start optimizing for people who are most likely to not pay with PayPal and pay with credit card and the other payment options, if you can't use it as a worst case scenario. So don't think that you have to use PayPal to succeed. It's just a recommendation if you can. So the next thing is obviously the rest of them. So you're going to have your Shopify payments, or if you're using Stripe or another gateway, make sure that obviously that's all set up properly. And then you've got your Google Pay, you've got your Apple Pay, and then you've got Shop Pay. Let me know if I'm missing any here just off the top of my head. And then you've got a couple of international style payment options that you can also add in. I suggest adding all of them in. And again, it sounds really, really simple, but a lot of people do not have these set up properly, and it hurts them when they're starting to spend money on advertising. If you're not doing these things and getting these things set up properly from the beginning, you're gonna have a lot of trouble in the future when you're actually trying to acquire customers. So the next thing that we want to look at is your checkout settings. So actually optimizing your checkout to convert, right? So a lot of times I'll see that people have a specific theme color or button color, and these are, again, minor details, but a lot of these things add up and really impact your conversion rates initially starting to test, or once you start getting up and scaling. So you want to be optimizing it so that everything correlates. If you've got green buttons on your product pages and all the other pages on your store, make sure that your checkout buttons are also the exact same color. Make sure that you've added your logo into the checkout. Make sure that you set up things like your email opt-in. I'll just write email. Your email opt-in, you can actually do things to change where it says add your email for subscribing to our list, or so on and so forth. You can actually optimize that so that it says something intriguing, like add your email for order updates and tracking, plus special offers and exclusive deals, so on and so forth, to increase your email opt-ins to help with your abandonment carts and other great things that we're going to talk about here in a minute. So you're going to want to make sure that everything's set up with your checkout, everything's working. You want to be placing a test checkout to make sure that everything's flowing smoothly. There's other things that you can do to optimize your checkout. Like, I like using one-page checkout. There's been a lot of talk about, is three-page checkout better than one-page checkout? Personally, I always suggest using one-page checkout, and things are a lot smoother with one-page checkout than when they were when it was first released. So I highly suggest using one-page checkout. It's going to help you guys a ton. And then, guys, another really small one, but something that I see a lot of people getting mixed up on or don't know the route to go, is making sure that you have a currency converter, right? So there's a couple options that you can go with your checkout. You can go USD checkout, or you can go local currency checkout. I suggest, if you're first getting started, keeping everything in USD checkout if you can, or your local currency is in another currency. I suggest setting up your Shopify account for USD checkout. This is a really important one. Obviously, USD is a universal currency. It's accepted worldwide, and it's something that people are just familiar with using when ordering online. So the other thing is that with your currency converter, you want to make sure that you are, even if you're using USD checkout only, if you are selling to anywhere outside of the USA, highly suggest getting a currency converter in place. This is going to, again, help show people, even if it's switching to USD in the checkout, show them what the price would be in their local currency, and then they'll be paying with USD at checkout. Currency converter, the best one that I have found is Bucks currency converter. Again, it's really easy to set up. Make sure that you've got a currency converter in place if you intend on selling anywhere outside of the United States, which again, with all the methods that we show inside our private community, you're going to be selling in more markets than just the United States. So highly suggest getting a currency converter set up. Use Bucks. Make sure that everything's flowing smoothly with that. Again, it's a minor detail, but it's something that really makes a big impact, enough for me to put it in this video because I've seen people mess this whole thing up. And number 5 that you can add in from day one that's going to help with your conversions, even if you're just testing products, is your abandoned checkout email flows. So your abandoned checkout email flows is going to help you exponentially when testing products. Now, a lot of people, they'll wait to add in these abandonment flows once they've got a winning product that they're starting to try and push and scale to help bring back more revenue. But my ideology is that you should be using your abandoned checkout email flows from day one. And the reason being is because when you are working with a fresh ad account or you're working with new campaigns, testing new products, those first few purchases and the events firing in your ad account are going to help things optimize and are drastically more important in those first few days of spend for optimizing and collecting data to start being able to scale that product more than you know. Okay, the purchasing data is your golden ticket to being able to scale these products, and getting those first few purchases in, even if they went to your checkout and your abandonment checkout email flow brought them back to fire that pixel and fire that conversion event. This is going to help you so much when testing products to start optimizing better, to start picking up that data and momentum so that you can pop off those products more efficiently when you're first getting started and testing. Now, if you're wondering what sorts of apps to use for abandonment checkout flows, is SendVio. So I have no affiliation or anything with these apps that I am suggesting. These have just been things that I've used personally that I know work from experience and have a very good conversion rate if they're set up properly. Now, if you want access, again, to the exact blueprint that you need to get set up for your abandonment checkout email flows, I've created an entire blueprint on how you should set those up to get the highest open rate and conversion rate with your abandonment email flows. So if you want access to that, you can join our private ecom group down below. It's going to be in the description. You can join that and get access there so that you don't have to guess of how to set that up and what's going to be the best route to go with your abandonment checkout email flows. So I suggest using SendVio. Make sure that they are set up properly and firing from day one, even if you're just getting started testing products. Again, a really, really critical one that I don't see a lot of people talking about when first testing products and how important it is. And that's why it's important and why I'm suggesting it to you guys. So those are the main things that you need to be looking at before you spend a dime on advertising, and making sure that all of these are set up properly so that you can set yourself up for success from day one. And these things are so critical. So make sure that you do double, triple, quadruple check all of these things and make sure that your settings are set up properly and all of these things are ready to rock when you first start testing products. Now, if you want a second opinion on anything that you have set up in your business to make sure that, hey, am I doing this right? Do I have these set up properly? What adjustments can I make to make things better? I want to invite you to, again, join our private ecom group. It's going to be in the description down below. And this is where you can get access to talking with me, my team members, and all of the group community members inside of our private group. This is literally the best place that you could be when taking things from where you're at now to going to that next level. And again, guys, if you got any value from this video at all, I just want to ask that you hit that like button down below, as it helps me more than you know get this video out to more people and helps motivate me to continue making videos just like this for you guys. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel to get access to these videos first, as I drop these videos every single week on the week, and I don't want you to miss that info. And again, guys, if you want to take things to the next level, I'll see you guys in that ecom group down below. We can chat more about how to take your business to the next level. So we'll see you guys there and in the next video.